Hi, I'm Amber from Amber's Craft Week blog, and welcome back to the Hey Day Challenge, where we go through different pages of the book Hey Day and do little activities to go with them. So sometimes they're activities that the book itself gives us, and sometimes they are things that are related in some way to the topic that I've come up with. So for January 13th, it is be a vegan for a day or a vegetarian for a day. Vegetarians come in all shapes and sizes. Most don't eat beef or fowl, but will partake in the dairy stuff. Vegans don't eat meat or any other animal products, including dairy like milk or eggs. Whatever your beliefs, it can't hurt to abstain from meat or even dairy for a single day. So expand your horizons and try something new. If you're already one, celebrate your veganness with these fabulous recipes. And then it has a tofu tacos recipe, and then a list of famous vegetarians. And I'm not sure how up to date that list is, but yeah. So what we're going to do today is Brian is going to make a vegetarian recipe. So I've actually been a vegetarian since I was 11. That was my third attempt at vegetarianism. The first two happened when I was in 4th grade, once when I was 9, I think both I was 9, going on 10. And the first two, unfortunately, were motivated out of a desire to diet, which says a lot about the state of our society. Those two didn't take, but when I was 11, I had this cat, Sapphire, and I loved her dearly. And my mom had told me stories about people in other countries eating cats, and I was like, well, how could anyone eat a cat? And then that led me to thinking about, well, are cats really that different from other animals? And so that kind of, unleashed an ethical quandary in my little 11-year-old mind. And so I became a vegetarian and actually stuck with it. This isn't an attempt to convert you or anything like that, so if you're not a vegetarian, that's fine. I just thought it might be nice to do a vegetarian recipe today. Because I know one of the things that was hard for me when I first became a vegetarian was figuring out, well, what do I eat if I don't eat meat? And it took me a long time. I had a lot of years of not very healthy eating, a lot of junk food and all that sort of stuff, because I just didn't know what to eat. And it wasn't until I met Brian that I really started eating a much healthier, more balanced diet that actually was very tasty. So today Brian is going to show us how he makes vegetarian burritos. So you have Brian here, and he's going to show us how to make burritos.
Hi, I'm going to show you how to make burritos. So I already have the stuff measured out. We're going to need a tablespoon of oil here.
And that's olive oil?
Yes. In this case I used olive oil, but it doesn't really matter. You could even use butter if you wanted to. And then I have half a cup of rice here.
And half a cup of rice will be enough to make about 4 burritos, maybe?
Yeah, it's probably about 4 burritos. And then you saute the rice in the oil. You'll saute this rice for a few minutes until it starts crackling. So here is the rice. You can hear it crackling like that. That means that we're ready to add our water here, and I have 1.5 cups of water that I preheated a little bit. Now that this water, we'll bring the water to a boil. And while it's boiling, we'll also add some seasoning. I'm going to add probably about a whole teaspoon of salt here. And this is just your standard iodized salt. I'm going to add some garlic powder. Just add as much garlic powder as you care for. That was probably about close to a teaspoon. This is probably about a teaspoon of parsley. I'm adding probably a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. I'm going to add another teaspoon of onion powder. So this isn't my usual set of spices. Well, actually, mostly this is my usual set of spices, but I'm adding a little bit different of a spice combination than I normally do, and I usually mix it up quite a bit, but today I'm going to add some cumin, and that's probably an eighth of a teaspoon to a quarter teaspoon. I'm going to add a sprinkle of nutmeg rather. I'm going to add a sprinkle of nutmeg in here. I don't usually do this, but I have high hopes about it. I'm going to add a sprinkle of cloves. Again, these are probably in amounts that are less than a quarter teaspoon. I mean, an eighth of a teaspoon. So maybe an eighth at most. Some turmeric. And the turmeric's probably going to be about a quarter teaspoon or so. And then finally about a quarter teaspoon of coriander. This is usually easier to do in your hand or whatnot, so that you don't actually get steam inside the spice things. If you get steam inside of them, then they can cake up, and then your spices get kind of hard to use. So I wouldn't suggest sprinkling it over the top like I did there, but I'm kind of careless. So now from here we wait for our rice to boil off. We're going to let this boil for about 15 minutes or so, and when we get back we'll see if we need to add any additional water. We can tell whether it's done or not by how soft the rice is. We've gotten to the point where the rice is mostly cooked. The trouble here is that if you check this rice, it's actually still pretty hard. It's on al dente. It looks like it's going to need another half a cup of water and a little bit more cooking. And usually when this happens, I actually lower the heat down. And we'll let this cook, and so it will boil off. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to add beans, and we're going to add corn. We have some generic yellow corn. This is just about half a bag. Then we also have some dark red kidney beans. And these were pre-rinsed. Then I'm just going to stir this all around. And what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to decide if the seasoning is what I want it to be after this cooks for a second. Because sometimes the addition of the beans and the corn can reduce the seasoning. So now I've tested this mixture, and I think it has enough salt. But I'm actually going to add probably just a pinch more. I'm also going to add a little more garlic powder. You can really never go too heavy on the garlic powder. I'm going to add some onion powder. The one point of caution I have about adding spices at this stage is the spices are going to probably be a little more potent. They're not going to have had a chance to mild out from cooking. So do be cautious. Don't go crazy when you're adding spices here. Next, I'm also going to add a little more parsley. The parsley kind of helps to mellow out some of the stronger flavors from the garlic and onion. I think it needed a little touch of ginger, so I'll add a little more ginger here, and I think that's probably about it. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to add this burrito mix to our burrito shells here, and we're going to go from here. So what I have here is I have the burrito shell, and it has our pre-shredded Colby Jack. You don't have to use Colby Jack. Well, it's not pre-shredded. We shredded this with a cheese grater. I enjoy freshly grated cheese more than the packaged grated cheese, but you can save some time by using shredded cheese that you purchase from the store instead of shredding your own cheese. So I'm going to finish off this burrito right here and show you how I wrap it. So I just pile the cheese on top of it like so. Then I fold this so that we have the two ends come together towards the middle. Next, I fold this so that we wrap it into kind of a burrito shape. And that is a burrito. I'm going to do the other one the exact same way, and then I'll show you what it looks like when this is all done. Just as a note, I've preheated the oven to 400 degrees. We'll be cooking this on 400 degrees. It'll probably take about 5 or so minutes per side. Probably 5 minutes for one side and then 2 or 3 minutes for the other side.
So here are the finished burritos. So just top with your favorite burrito toppings. I have just sour cream for mine. Brian has sour cream, salsa, and hot sauce. So yeah, those are the burritos.
Okay, folks. Amber thinks that you'll think that I put poison in it, so she's gonna try it on camera for you.
Yes.
Just so you can make sure that it tastes good.
Make sure that, yes. And your burrito will be very hot when it comes out of the oven, so be aware of that. Yeah, it's a good burrito mix.
Do you have anything else to add?
About the burritos, they're good.
Are you poisoned?
We'll have to wait a few hours to find out. So if you don't see any further videos from me, you can assume that Brian poisoned me and that was the end. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do give the burrito recipe a try, let us know what you think. If you like this video, then please give it a like. If you want to see more videos in the Heyday series, then feel free to subscribe. And if you like crafts, then you can head on over to my craft blog, amberscraftweek.blogspot.com. I occasionally post recipes there as well, so there are a few recipes on there, but it's mostly crafts. And thank you for watching. Have a great day.